2 for 2.
Welcome to week 2, boys.
2 for 2 on cracks.
We are thrilled that we got the first week of the season through.
Yeah.
We had a wonderful... Really? You got to pour it on the camera? Yeah. All right. So we're going to go through a quick run-through of week...
Well, first of all, welcome back to the second week of Premier League and Pints. We're happy to be back. Garrett, kick it off.
So Premier League happened. We have our pints. So the episode here is going to be a rundown of the week we just had, the week coming up, some little overreactions, some transfer news,
some tidbits here and there,
some debates, some tidbits. So stick around for that.
Thank you.
You already said it. It's on camera, bro.
Yeah, you used it. I'm proud of you.
So let's get into week 1 real quick. First game of the season was Arsenal-Fulham. Dan's an Arsenal fan, so we're going to let him take that one away real fast.
Yeah, so I was happy.
I'm sure you were.
They came out the gates. I mean, the first 5 minutes, I won't lie, they looked a little iffy. Don't want to spend too much time on the game, but basically, first 5 minutes, they gave up a really bad... They almost passed the ball back, and then miscommunication between Gabriel and Leno. Thankfully, Leno bailed us out and had a great save, and then after that, it was just all Arsenal. West Brom really didn't do anything in the game after that.
You mean Fulham?
West Brom wasn't in that game?
Oh, Fulham, whatever. I did watch the game, trust me. But yeah, it was all Arsenal. Willian had a great day. Two assists, had a play in the first goal. Aubameyang scored. Lacazette scored. And then Gabriel on his debut gets a header. So you can't ask for much more for Arsenal on the first day. I feel bad for Fulham on the other hand. First game back playing a team like this, and welcome back to the Premier League.
Yeah, really. I think if we're just going to read our notes out here, we have a very descriptive.
Oh my God!
Of how Fulham looked.
This made me laugh so hard.
Of how Fulham looked on the field, and our notes say Fulham looked like shit.
They did.
They
didn't look good.
You don't get more in depth than that.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty good.
See,
we're not analysts, but
you can analyze that.
Yeah.
For as bad as they looked, I'm just looking at the stats, and they still had 46% possession. And how do you have that much possession and still look so bad?
They had a couple chances. It wasn't like they just sat back. They looked better at the end when they put in
Mitrovic, who's their best player.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't start unless he was coming back from something, but
I think it was just a rest kind of thing. But
yeah, he looked pretty good when he had a couple chances. He's a big body that knows how to play the ball well. But that's the first game. We'll go on to the next one. Was kind of a little bit of a snooze fest, but.
Oh yeah, so it's Palace, Southampton.
Boom.
Palace win this game somehow. I don't know how. With 29% possession.
That's what makes soccer a great game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Zaha gets the goal. Counterattack. Pretty straightforward. As soon as they played that ball in the back, I was like, oh, here we go. This is probably going to end up the back of the net. And then Southampton didn't want to do anything the rest of the game. And, may or may not have lost me some money, but it's besides the point.
Yeah, you're not salty about that at all.
No, not a little bit.
But, they both teams looked okay. Southampton had chances, couldn't score. Palace had their chances and finished when they had them, except for at the end. But, a win's a win.
Yeah. Yeah, no, at the end, Che and Ings both had really good chances on goal that, Goita, I don't know how to pronounce it.
He
bailed
was incredible.
He
was
great
save. Yeah. Otherwise, it could have been a totally different game. One goes in, and the next goes in. They go from winning.
Which would have been awesome.
Yeah, for you and your betting.
But, he was incredible in the game. And we'll move on. We're just going to kind of flip through these. We don't want to go too long here until there's something stands out to us. And I think the next game...
This is the game of the week.
This was the game of the week. And I think any Premier League fan, regardless of who you root for, would agree that this was the game of the week.
Yeah.
So it was Liverpool and Leeds. I think there were, 5 goals in the first 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It was 3-2, I think, Liverpool in 25 minutes. It was nuts.
Not that we bet too much. But we had the over 3.5 goals, and I think it hit 25 minutes into the game.
Hammered the over.
So it was incredible. Fast pace. Well, going from
Did you say not that you bet too much?
Shut up, Dan. Going from the Crystal Palace Southampton game and then the Liverpool Leeds, it was just such polar opposite games. But incredible entertainment to anyone that watches soccer. It was a great game.
The only thing that could have made this game better,
right,
is if there was fans,
or if Leeds won. But whatever.
Well, yeah,
that works too. But yeah.
This was honestly. I've never had that much fun watching a game that wasn't involving my team in a while. That was awesome, especially a team just coming up. To see them perform the way they did against the reigning champions was unbelievable.
Yeah, but in this game, fun. I think fans would have been great, but they would have been Liverpool fans. If this was Leeds at home, that would have been a much different story. It would have been crazy. Yeah. But we all want fans back at some point. But we talked about it last pod. But takes on it. But I think this game was incredible.
I think the quick sidebar. I think the German league's actually bringing fans back for the start of the next season.
Oh,
I think
are
I
they?
read that. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So EPL talks about October. I think we discussed, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how they do there.
But before we leave this, I want to talk about a couple of the players. I mean,
Yeah, we do.
Salah hat trick. 2 of them
Thank
were
you.
PKs, but the second goal, his non-PK
It was a
goal
rip.
was. You couldn't pick that out any better. That was like
Rip.
literally right in the corner of the upper 90.
And he hit that
Ripped.
so hard.
That's not easy to hit too. Control and then a one-time hit.
No,
It's
it was
crazy.
beautiful.
Talk about a
finish.
piss missile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God.
That,
And
that
then
was
Garrett, I think you like this guy Harrison, so I'll let you
Jack
talk about this goal.
Jack Harrison. So like they kind of gave a little. First of all, the goal was incredible. The touch he had and then his run was incredible. They gave a quick bio on him during the game. He was in the English academy system. Was like, it isn't for me. He left. He went back to the USA. He played college. He played club soccer. He then went to the MLS and then got bought by the City Group. Was playing for New York City FC. Got sent to City, and then got loaned to Leeds. So he's made his rounds and he's done his
He's been all over the place.
Yeah, but he showed up against
Yeah.
Liverpool. He was arguably the best player on the field for either team in that game.
He was a workhorse.
Yeah.
I
He was
love that
great.
kind of player that just runs around the pitch the whole time and just, he had a hand, and I think he had a hand in another goal, but he was just all over the pitch.
Yeah, I can't even
Words.
he was.
Words.
I know he was just. It was such a good. We talked about Leeds and how they were they're not going to be the normal promotion team. I mean they looked incredible. In a loss, they looked
And
incredible.
the fact they go to Anfield, play the reigning champions who won by 18 points, and put in this kind of performance, score 3 goals against arguably the best defense in the league. I mean,
arguably after that game.
Yeah,
that's
So-
what I'm saying. Yeah.
So the two things that you just mentioned, they played incredible. The two notes we have here, 2 questions that we have written down. We'll go with, we just talked about, are Leeds as good as they're hyped up to be? After it's been one game, I get it, but do you think just after that showing, they can live up to the hype going forward?
Well, that's kind of what I was gonna say. Is a lot of people are gonna talk up Leeds and then talk down Liverpool, but you gotta kind of pick one or the other. Was Leeds that good, or was Liverpool that shitty? You can't just say Leeds is gonna be an incredible team and Liverpool sucks. There's got to be an in between.
I think the way I look at the game is the other note we have here was, again, Liverpool's defense was pretty shaky. The way I look at it was, yes, it was, but Liverpool, in games where their defense doesn't perform, they have the offense to just, okay, you scored 3, we're going to go score 4. You scored 4, we're going to score 5. They have that firepower and that threat up front. So I do think it was a little bit of both, but I think it was more of Liverpool kind of maybe with that championship hangover a little bit. They didn't come out too great. They didn't look, they got the early goal, but after that, they kind of slowed down a little bit for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I'll just add to that. Van Dijk essentially gave away that either second or third goal, where he tried to
that's
control the
terrible.
ball.
That was awful.
And literally just passed it right to Bamford, and he just put it in the back of the net. That's one. And then, back to Harrison's goal. Yes, it was great, beautiful touches and everything, but he ran it through 3 players.
Yeah.
You'd think someone on the defense would put a foot in and, get a foot on, stop on it. But,
you would think.
So to me, I think it's a little bit of both. I think definitely their defense was a little rusty in this game. Maybe it's just rust.
Hopefully.
They're all
Could be.
proven
For
in the
their
Premier
sake.
League. Yeah. But I think this next test for Leeds when they play Fulham.
Right, that's
will
what
be
the good teams do is they beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And that'll be a
bit more
test for
telling.
Leeds.
Yeah.
That's a
But
game.
great game.
That's
Great
a
game
game that
nonetheless.
when we go into previewing next week, that I definitely want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, great, incredible game. Next game of the week was West Ham Newcastle. If you had any doubts about West Ham, you were correct. They sucked.
Again, another note we have here is West Ham are ass.
Yeah, that's literally what I mean.
Terrible.
You watched Antonio play after the COVID break, and you're like, man, he is due for a breakout. He looked great.
He's gonna have a year.
They showed up against Newcastle, and they had the lack of offense and just creativity was dumbfounding. It was almost sad to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
That's a very good way to put it.
It wasn't good, but give credit where credit is due. I think Newcastle played pretty good. Their new signings, I think 2 debut goals for them.
Yeah.
Hendricks and
Wilson.
Wilson,
Callum.
thank you.
Good old Callum.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, West Ham, they're going through some shit right now.
They looked terrible.
I think they're talking about going through, like, a change in ownership. Even, like, Mark Nobles being, like, the captain of the club was pissed when they sold their best player to one of the other Premier League teams. But he's, like, one of their brightest prospects. And he's like, are you kidding me? Like, what are we selling our best players for? Like,
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
But like you said, dream start for Wilson. I mean, you signed with the new team. You just got signed, in the last week or two?
Something like that.
And I mean, you score a goal. A good move for them. I mean, to beat West Ham again, like, West Ham, again, we always think, like, oh, they have good players, and they come out the first week and just dead.
There's one of those.
Nothing.
They're one of those teams that you think should be good.
Every year.
They should be top of the table, but, like, they're not anymore. They're not. I wouldn't be surprised if they go down this year.
After watching that game, either.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like you just said, like you think they should be good every year, and they're not.
Yeah.
There's one other team I'm so happy not to be a fan of. It's them. Like again, we suck. Like United aren't the best anymore. But like, thank God none of us here are West Ham fans, because we would be in tears.
Sorry, West Ham fans. We apologize.
Kind of. Not really. I'm still,
But yeah, that was that game.
The team sucks.
All right, moving on.
The other West team, West Brom.
The other West team.
Yeah. West Brom and Leicester. Vardy doing Vardy things.
I mean, we have a group chat, and like I said, you could not have a more Vardy goal.
Yeah.
I mean, game than this. Play average for 70 minutes, have a chance here and there, score 2 in the last 20. Like that's
just take all the glory.
Yeah, like that's such a Vardy way to score. I think they were saying he scored every single time he's played West Brom.
Yeah, 5 out of 5 times.
Like that's.
That's kind of cool. That's a cool stat to have.
I mean, Leicester looked pretty good. They're the new winger. Say his name.
Castagne.
Thank you.
Debut.
I would have got it wrong.
Oh, you know I would.
He's an outside back. That was a pretty nice goal, crossing from the wing, and he just got a head on it in the box.
Yeah, he's playing outside back, and I think he headed that from the 6. So like that just shows you how much Leicester's wingers push up. They were without Maddison for the most of the game. I think he subbed on late when they were up by 1 or up or 2.
Yeah.
But he's a big miss for them. But in the first half, they didn't look great. I mean, West Brom actually, I think, had better chances.
They did. They have some young players that were like, they looked pretty exciting going forward. Like they were making runs. They were just like constantly pressing. I can't remember. Pereira is one of them. I can't remember the other guy's name. But yeah, I think after that, I think Leicester kind of realized, oh, we got to start playing into this game, and then they kind of just dominated the rest. And then all the goals I think came in the second half.
Yep.
But overall, it was a pretty good performance from Leicester. West Brom, again, kind of like Fulham, welcome back to the Premier League.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the promoted teams this year had kind of shit draws for the first week.
Yeah. Hang on. What are you doing?
Mind me. We're having microphone issues. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see if that sounds a little bit better. Okay, that's better. Our apologies. We're going to have a little bit weird audio there, but it was kind of like sounded a little funny. So, technical issues. We're not perfect.
But yeah, what I was saying was like I think all 3 promoted teams had a really bad draw game week 1.
Yeah.
First week back in the Premier League, you got Arsenal, Liverpool, and Leicester. Some of the top teams.
That's not easy.
Not at all.
So, but yeah, I mean, that was that.
Leicester game, a normal. Like you said, they won. They got their points. Leicester fans are probably more pissed off than anyone after last season. So good on them.
So the other thing too, like again, Vardy. Pretty much a Vardy game. Average. He gets 2 goals, 2 PKs, though. Now, do you think going forward he can, I don't want to say keep up this form because his goals are PKs, but do you think he can kind of like, I know it was game 1, but do you think in his age, like what he's doing it now, can he return it on and become what he was a few years ago?
A few years ago. Last year.
Yeah, well, same thing.
I mean,
Golden Boot last year. But yeah.
He's a guy,
I mean.
every year you're like, oh, he's going to go down, he scores. Like, he's a goal scorer. Like, regardless of anything else, he's going to score goals because he knows where to be. And he hustles.
Very direct.
He's a very, like you say, he's a very direct player. Leicester does a great job of playing off the counter. He does his job that he's supposed to do for that team, and that's to score goals when they're there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count him out.
And I think if he's healthy, I think he's going to keep it up. I mean, there's no signs of him slowing down at the moment. Like, even this game, I think he played all 90 minutes and just ran around, making those runs and, like, bombing forward. So I think that's the kind of performance you can expect out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but I think at least this year he'll keep the same pace.
Yeah. Moving on. What we got next?
We have Tottenham and Everton. This game, when I believe we may have said it last week, going into last week, the games that were on, besides the Leeds and Liverpool game, this is the other game I was so excited to watch.
Me too.
I'm thinking, okay, James is on Everton now. You know, Tottenham is Tottenham. They're always, pretty decent. This was the game I was like, okay, it's going to be a great game. And then, honestly, I was kind of bored.
The first 20 minutes of this game, Tottenham, I don't think I've ever looked worse.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton, again, it's hard to, compliment one team and then say the other team looked terrible. But it's Everton controlled the ball well. They had quick passes. They had chances. Tottenham just, looked confused. They just sat.
They had one or two chances, but they didn't look convincing at all going forward.
Yeah.
And, the game should have been 1-0 early off, too, with Richarlison missing the sitter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
I think that was a mistake in the back, right? He just ran onto it and then got around Lloris and misplaced his feet.
Yeah, he had
and
that, and then
shanked it.
He had Calvert-Lewin
right in the middle, too.
Wide open.
Yeah.
That's such a striker play there.
It's either way.
Yeah.
Whether you shoot that or pass that ball should have ended up in the back of the net. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
You're in the Premier League, you're starting forward. That has to be in the back of the net, especially against a team like Tottenham, which you never know. I mean,
right, you
they
expect
did come
Tottenham.
out with a win.
Correct.
But again, that you have to score there.
Yeah.
Again, I was expecting this to be a great game. I was supposed to see some really good plays, some really good goals, but 1-0.
I mean, Digne looked incredible. He's a great back. And not just because I have my fantasy soccer team, but because he's actually a really good back. As far as a winger that pushes forward and play balls in, he's incredible at it. And he's a good defender. That's the problem. A lot of the times you get one or the other. He has a good mix of both. He can defend it, but he also plays great balls forward.
Yeah.
Hence the free kick.
And I want to talk about the free kick because I think Jose actually has a point. As much as I hate how he just bitches and moans all the time,
which he does.
The free kick was given probably 5 to 10 feet in front of where it was supposed to be, probably even more. Yards probably, not feet. And again, that gives it a better angle to cross the ball, and where Digne took a nice ball in and Calvert-Lewin got a nice head on it. So I think that honestly makes a difference, but I hate to agree with Jose.
Everyone does.
But I think it was a deserved goal. Obviously, Everton played better throughout the game.
I agree.
I agree.
But yeah, I don't know.
But so the other talking point going into that game was the James. Was James going to start? Was he going to play? How's he going to look? He hasn't played in the Premier League. He looked good. I mean, I
liked him.
First of all, going into the game, I was listening to the broadcast because obviously we're fans, but I'm not watching warm-ups because I'm not doing that. So they talked and they said he looked sluggish. He looked slow in warm-ups. They were this is going to be a disaster class of a performance. And I mean, on the field, he didn't look like he was in the best shape of his life, but on the ball, he can create.
He's creating chances.
He can create chances. That kid, he's older than us probably.
Definitely.
He has a vision that a lot of players don't have. He knows what to do, and it's just the execution part. And in this game, he looked pretty good.
When you just mentioned you're watching it, I was watching it too. They say he looked sluggish and just kind of out of it. I thought when the ball was in I'm not saying he would sprinting back on defense, but when he had the ball, when there was a player in front of him, the other team with the ball, he put in the work. At times, I never noticed that. I didn't see what the announcers thought he looked like in warm-ups. I didn't see him be sluggish. I thought he hustled, he put in the work. Again, he's probably not used to the pace of the Premier League and the style of it, but I thought for a debut, he worked hard, and like you said, his vision is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty
he's
incredible.
a creative player.
It's almost like he played out on the wing, right? Was he more of a winger?
He
Yeah, he
playing,
seemed to be
on the
drifting
right
wide a
wing.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But
In their lineup, I think that's where he was, on the outside right.
Yeah, he might have drifted in a little
started.
bit. But honestly, even him, I think he's a step up from what Gylfi has been. And I think he's obviously adds a new dimension to their game. But even their other two signings, they started their whole new midfield. Decore from Watford, who's a defensive mid, I thought he played really solid. And Allen was that box-to-box midfielder that just literally got up and down the field, and he literally had a hand in almost every play on the field, I feel like.
So for another year, we're going to be this is Everton's year.
Yeah, we are,
Here it
yeah.
is. And then week 2, they're going to lose to, who do they play?
Week 2?
It's right there. It's right there. West Brom? They're going to lose to West Brom.
Yeah.
I will put money
But
right now that
that would be
Everton
bad.
loses to West Brom.
You mentioned, is this it? Here they go. That's what we have here. Are they for real this year with all their signings? Do we think they can actually put together a run? Like you said, on paper and after watching that game, I like to think they could.
Me too.
I really do think they can, but like you said, they play West Brom next week. I wouldn't be shocked if they go out there and tie or lose.
Nope.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised because that's just been Everton.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You can never get this is the team you can never get a handle on. You never know where they're going to be at. Like, first game, last game, you never know.
True. Moving on. Let's go. What we got next?
We got Wolves beating Sheffield 2-0.
I mean, I think we expected. I mean, actually, not let Sheffield look good last year. Wolves scored right in the beginning of the game, and I think for any team, that's just twice in the beginning of the game. There was 6 minutes that we were 6 minutes.
Yeah, 2 in the first 6 minutes.
Who got the first goal? Was Jimenez scored 3 minutes in? 3 minutes into the game.
Sias?
Roman Sias.
I mean,
that's the
defender, yeah.
Just for a mental standpoint, as like a team, as Sheffield, I'm sure, like anyone that's played soccer, like if it's apparently not. If a team scores on you twice within 6 minutes, your mental state is just not there anymore.
No.
Like you could tell, like the game ended 2-0. Like they got beat in the beginning, and then the game was a wash for the rest of it. But that 2 minutes or 6 minutes, that's what makes the game.
At that point, all Wolves has to do is, okay, I'll just knock the ball down. And at that point, Sheffield's like, all right, like we're out of it. Like, oh well. Like, you're right. Like if you score early, there's nothing you could do. Pretty much.
You could definitely tell at the end of the game, though, Sheffield was pushing for a goal or two.
Yeah,
they were throwing everything forward at the end. Fortunately, they didn't get it. They had a lot of corners, a lot of chances, but Wolves did a good job keeping a clean sheet. So overall, I thought it was a good performance from Wolves and carrying over their good, play from last year. So I think that might be another team that's. I think the push or the fight for the Europa League spots is going to be really good this year.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves is like, I like to compare like Leeds to Wolves. Like Wolves came up and then like competed. Like they didn't just sit. Like they compete. Like Leeds is going to be that same thing, and Wolves has been able to compete for years now, and they look again another solid team this year. And as Sheffield's point of view, I mean, Sheffield's not a team that's going to beat teams 4-0, 3-0 ever. You expect them to have a hard-fought 1-0 win.
Gritty performance.
That's how Sheffield wins games.
Like they're not scoring from 35 out on a volley. They're scoring a scramble in front, and you're getting a toe on that.
Off a corner.
Yeah.
Because they solidly defended for 85 minutes and scored.
Exactly.
Like,
that's Sheffield.
the worst thing for a Sheffield team to do is go down early because that's not their game. Yeah. That's not how they play. That's not how they win. Mm-hmm. They win based on defense.
And I mean, like even last year, we looked it up. Only 3 other teams had more or had less goals conceded in the 2019-2020 season.
Yeah.
That was like the Manchester United, Manchester City, and Liverpool, and they were 4th on that list. So I mean, that just goes to show like they have a solid, or at least last year had a solid defensive team. Do you think they can carry that through to this year? I think they're returning the exact same players. So
yeah, I mean, this might have been just a fluke performance. I mean, I can't imagine. Then again, I mean, look at Liverpool. It's another same thing. Was it just like was the turnover too quick with the season starting late? Were players just not ready?
Yeah.
Were they just mentally not there?
Or did Wolves come out firing?
Right.
Really
Did Wolves just come out? Did
Yeah.
they come out ready?
Yeah.
That's the big difference.
You also got to think too. Like you said, defensively, it's the same back four. It's a different goalie. They don't have Dean Henderson anymore.
Right. And Henderson was incredible.
Hey, he played out of his mind. I mean, they're playing Ramsdale now. Is that going to make a difference? Yeah, but I don't think it did in this game. I think, like I said, I think Wolves came out just they wanted it more, and they knew if they can get to Sheffield early, that's the game. They put it away.
Right, and that's what they did. Shout out to them.
Yeah, good for them.
Good game, Wolves.
One last thing, I think Jimenez is in for another big year.
Oh, he's a great player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Great player.
That finish, first of all, like it was like a cross in, and he had to back himself up, slow down, and just one time to volley to like the top left. Beautiful finish. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right,
Moving
that's
on to
all I
the
have to say.
Last game.
Yes, what's the last game?
Chelsea 3, Brighton 1. Let's discuss.
Who wants to start off with how much Chelsea underperformed? Anyone?
I don't.
Okay, Brian, you like to start off with how they underperformed?
Not really.
Okay, I'll start off how they underperformed. I mean, that's going to be the option here. I guess I'll choose it.
Like you said before, the good teams beat the teams supposed to beat. I mean, they won.
Right, they won.
Did underperform.
The problem is they won. They won 3-1, good score line, but like they just play wise. I mean, the score line isn't everything. I mean, it's all that matters in the end, really. But you expected this team to look much better than they did. Again, we talked about will they mesh early? Will they need time to adjust? Clearly, yes. I think that's the answer to the question.
And they also weren't playing their entire lineup that you expect to play, but they were playing most of it. I mean, Silva didn't play. Pulisic had a setback in his hamstring injury,
which is devastating.
Yeah, Chilwell didn't play. So I mean, they missed some players, but I mean, this is their team from last year. It's their players that played last year too. So you expect them to put in a better performance. Mm-hmm. And 2 of their goals were kind of like scrappy goals.
One was the PK, right?
One was the PK. Yeah, and the other was Zuma's.
Yeah, but that third goal.
Oh yeah, Reece James. That was absolute piss missile.
That was for a defender to hit that shot is incredible.
Guys listening and watching, we don't use the term piss missile lightly. So when we say piss missile, we
That's a
mean
shot.
piss missile.
That's
a bullet.
If you haven't seen it, look it up.
Like
Look it up.
if we're giving out a goal of the week, which I like to do, I think it has to be the James goal. I mean, the Salah goal was up there, but James hit like a 30-yard bullet.
It was definitely cooler.
Thunder bastard. I think that's a term they use in England.
If that's a term they use in England, let us know.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Well, as you're
Let us know across the pond.
Our friends across the pond.
as you're giving out, the goal of the week, I want to just make a gesture. The mistake of the week, Kepa sucks. Let's be honest.
He's just lazy, man.
He's gone. He's so gone.
Dude.
His confidence has to be absolutely crushed.
There is a 98% chance that he should have saved that ball.
Like, listen, if someone
on.
said to me, you have to
What
pick
are
a
you
goalie between De Gea
Oh my
and Kepa
God.
to
See?
save a ball to save your life, I would just start digging the grave. I would just start digging the
It's
grave.
these damn City fans. I swear to God.
Like, let's be honest. I'm already
so
6
funny.
feet under at that point.
Really, he just wants to rile me up.
It's true though. I mean, you got a point.
I mean, Kepa literally like watched the ball and just like, I'm good. And De Gea just sucks anyway.
Oh,
But
shut up. I hate both of you.
just
I don't
start
know.
digging.
But I do want to.
to.
I do want to talk about one of the players on Brighton though. Lamptey, the one of the outside backs.
Yo, he looked
He's
pretty
like
good.
an 18-year-old, like England international. He looked really good. He was like
Yeah.
really quick, bombing up. I think he got the assist on Trossard's goal. It was just a simple
double check
pass,
for
but he
you.
was still like involved with it. But I think he's going to be someone to look out for this year. Might be able to get a lot of assists going up the field because I saw him like up and back, the whole game. So, just an exciting player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did assist it, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's that guy.
One weird thing for Chelsea is like, who do you play as your outside backs at this point? Because like they have they have Chilwell, they have Aspie, they have James, and they have Alonso.
Well, I think they were talking about playing like a five in the
Five
back,
back.
and
'Cause, I
then
mean-
like Aspie would move to like a left center back role.
I mean, honestly, like arguably, like Reece James had a great game for them, a goal and an assist, and played well defensively. I mean, Aspie for me like is past his prime as an outside back at this
I feel
point.
like we've been saying that for like
For
3
years.
years, but he's still somehow here.
He's still trucking.
He's always
He just
there.
keeps going.
But yeah,
He's-
I
But
mean,
no, I get what you're saying. I think
it's a good problem to have. You have good defenders, but you like to keep a same back line so they can develop that chemistry with each other. Just switching in and out outside backs isn't, unless you're Pep, because that's all he ever does. But
yeah, my only thing is like I think Reece James like saw a lot of time last year, and like we weren't really talking about him that much. So I don't know if this is like a one-off performance or like has things changed. Like I think he's gotten time with like either the England national team or like their U20 whatever team.
yeah,
So maybe it's a turning point for him in his career, and maybe he's set for a big season. But you never know.
week 2, we'll see those lineups in week 2. That'll give us a good idea
Yeah.
of how these teams are going to keep playing for the rest of the year. So that'll be good.
And maybe you'll actually be able to see your teams play this year or this week.
Yeah, right.
Six teams didn't play last week.
Manchester's come back here this week coming up. Aston Villa plays their first game of the week.
Burnley.
Burnley plays their first game of the week. Season, not the week. Well, yeah, the
You know
season.
what we mean.
Yeah, that was bad talking by me. Don't mind me. I'll be over here all week.
What? Even that was- okay.
But we're all happy. We got week 1. It was a great week.
It's
we all
back,
got to watch
baby.
Got to
soccer.
watch soccer.
There's
It's back.
nothing. There's nothing better than we're in the USA on the East Coast. So if you watch this or listen to this from a different time zone, apologies. But there's nothing better than waking up in the morning, having coffee, watching Premier League soccer.
Not like a nice 7:30 a.m. start to your Saturday.
It's,
I
it's,
love
it's
it.
the perfect thing.
Yeah,
I
you're-
could literally. I think I sat on my couch and did not move for like 7 hours on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who likes to sleep on the weekends. Like I normally for fantasy, I'd miss the first game and just not set a lineup. But I was up, I was ready. I was like,
I was pumped.
I was fired up to go. And I feel like I don't know. I'm just happy it's back. It's so nice.
It's such a nice
It's
feeling.
such a nice feeling.
So, all right. So that was
That's
the
week
week 1
one.
recap. We have a few main points we want to punch down. We talked about them a little bit. Actually, we talked about a lot of them. But
Yeah, we really
We did.
There's one we didn't really talk about though.
which one?
It's the Jack Harrison.
Right. So like we mentioned before, like Jack Harrison's owned by City. Like, will you think he'd be a player that ends up coming back on loan and actually playing for City, or do you set them to be loaned, signed somewhere else eventually, or stay with Leeds? I mean, if you're Leeds, you obviously want to keep him.
Yeah.
But do you think he's somewhere that fits in a City lineup, or is it just an embarrassment of riches at this point for City with outside players and they sign somewhere else?
I honestly think he'll either stay on loan or Leeds will get, or not Leeds, or City will sell him at some point. I mean,
Yeah.
City already have a billion players in their rotation. Like I said, Pep rotates players in and out constantly, like week
Especially
to
on the
week.
wingers.
Yeah,
Yeah, trust me.
and I think just just the way Pep is. Maybe he might just want to get rid of him, just so he can respect the player wanting to go and actually play somewhere. Maybe he calls him back just to hold on to him and rot on the bench or rot in the reserves.
Yeah.
I don't think Pep's that kind of guy.
And honestly, City could use some money. The amount of money they put out, they need some money back in. And if he puts in together a good season, Leeds will pay for him.
If he can play well for Leeds.
Yeah, if
right.
Leeds has a good season, like you said, he might want to stay with that project and see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side of it, like you said, they'll get some money from the sale.
Yeah.
Like if they make it permanent. So I think staying with Leeds. I mean, it's still again first week. We saw him 1 week, so let's see how he does the rest of the year. And yeah.
So if he keeps that up, he'll certainly be like someone that City's going to keep an eye on to sell, and like you said, he's going to want to be a part of that Leeds project, I think. So.
All right, so we have week 2 games coming up, so you don't get too crazy. So we'll just go game by game, 10 seconds down the line, what you're looking for, what you think, what you're excited for, what you want to see.
Right here.
We'll go 1, 2, 3 down the line. You get one game each.
Okay.
All right, Dan, do you want to start?
Wait, Dan gets the first game?
I got the first one.
Whoever wants to start, doesn't matter.
I want the third game because it's the United game.
Not on our list. It's
Okay.
Not. Yes, it is.
It should have been. It goes by time.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Dan, slide us down.
All right, so I'm interested to see if James puts in the same
Everton West
performance.
Brom, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Everton West Brom. Probably should have mentioned that. I really just want to see if Everton are consistent, if they're the real deal. So if Richarlison, James, all these guys put in the same kind of performance they did last week, see if they can do it again. And then on the flip side, see if West Brom put in like a performance, see if they can actually challenge for all 90 minutes and not just the first 15. So
True. Moving up. All right, so we got
on.
Leeds and Fulham. We talked about this a little bit earlier, so I don't go too crazy into it. We'll find out if Leeds is the real deal. Are they going to actually contend this year? Or was the first game a fluke against Liverpool where they just hyped up? Fulham, we just saw, had a horrible performance. If Leeds can't beat them, then that's a little sad.
Next, we have Man U playing their first game of the year against Palace. As a Man U fan, I'm excited to watch it. I'm really excited to see what Van de Beek could do. I think he's going to start. Pogba's still recovering from COVID, so I'm pretty sure Van de Beek's going to get the start. Palace didn't look great week 1, so I think they're going to come out and they're really going to try and have a bounce-back week, but I do think United should win. I'm excited to see what they do. And yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm excited to see my team finally play a game. Oh, my God. It's great.
next one, Arsenal versus West Ham. They better win. Arsenal better win. They're home against West Ham, who arguably was the worst team last week. Don't have much going for them at the moment. Would like to see Saliba make his debut for Arsenal. I'm hoping they put in another solid defensive performance, and I hope the front three continue to create chances. So yeah,
It's gonna be so funny if we roasted West Ham for 30 minutes and they come out and beat
kick
Arsenal.
the shit out of Arsenal. Yeah.
Oh
Southampton.
my God, week 3 podcast is gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah, right. Southampton, Spurs. Two teams that got bad results the first game. Didn't look great. Southampton looked better than Spurs did, honestly. If Spurs defense looks like I did against Everton, Southampton I think wins this game. But getting excited to see if Southampton can lift up to what we thought they would be this season, or if it's just gonna be another down year.
Yep. Then we have. I'm honestly, it's Newcastle and Brighton.
Yep.
I mean,
good one here.
Oh, it's a game of the week. I'm gonna be edge of my seat. No, I mean, Brighton lose to a Chelsea team who's pretty good, and Newcastle beat West Ham, who's not great. I honestly think this is just gonna be like just battle in the midfield. I don't think much is gonna happen. So I would assume Newcastle wins this game. I hope they do, after the way Brighton did play against Chelsea. But honestly, it's, I don't know, is it a relegation battle already?
Eventually
I don't know,
it could be. You never know.
I don't know. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I don't think this is going to be a fun game to watch. Dan got the good one to talk about. God
I
damn
think
it.
all three of us should talk on this one, but
we all
this
should.
is without a doubt the game of the week. Chelsea versus
Absolutely.
Liverpool. Where is it? Is it Stamford Bridge?
Stamford Bridge.
At Stamford Bridge. Man, this is a big game.
Yeah, it is.
Both teams, it's huge.
The biggest thing I'm looking at is how Liverpool's defense was last week, and then going up against Werner, Havertz. I don't think
so
Pulisic
far.
will be back, but I mean, just kind of looking at offense versus defense here. I think it's gonna be a very free-flowing game, and then a lot of goals.
It's a game that answers questions. Like, is Liverpool's defense, was it a fluke? Are they bad?
Yeah.
Obviously not bad, but was that a fluke last game? Or are they just not up to the level they are? Is Chelsea's one more week for them to mesh? Do they come out stronger? I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
I do also think with...
Set your alarms, boys.
What time is it on at?
I don't even know.
It's 11:30.
Some people sleep late.
If
All
you're
right,
on the West Coast, set your alarms.
There you go.
I do also think, too, with Liverpool and the firepower they have up front, is Kepa going to actually perform this week, or is he going to look like crap?
Start digging.
I don't. Hear you first.
You might see Caballero in goal or whoever their backup is.
I think it's still Caballero, actually.
All right. Next game. Let's go.
All right, what do we got? Leicester Burnley. A game that we assume Leicester should win. Again, we talked about will Vardy keep up his goal scoring prowess? Probably, because he just seems to always do it. We'll see if Maddison gets in. Maddison and Vardy have a good relationship, so happy to see if he plays this week. Yeah, I mean, it's a game to really prove anything for Leicester. Not Burnley kind of probably expected to lose this game, so could be a good game for them.
First game.
Yeah. We ripped Burnley last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
So,
oh, yeah, we did. Anyway, we go to Monday.
we do.
Villa is hosting Sheffield. It's Villa's first game. So, they're going to come out ready to go, firing all cylinders. Sheffield, I think they're going to look for, I don't think, I would hope so. They try and get a bounce-back game. I know their game plan isn't to really attack, like, right off the bat. I think they might, just because they may try and catch Villa, still trying to shake the rust off, still kind of trying to get in the flow of the game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Sheffield win maybe 1-0, maybe 2-0, but I don't think Villa's going to score. I don't think they can get past Sheffield's defense, to be honest with you.
I really just want to see Aston Villa play Ollie Watkins, because I just want to hear the guy go, Ollie Watkins! Like, once. That's all I want.
You know what? I'm going to change it. I hope it's 2-1.
Just to hear Ollie Watkins. Yep, absolutely. I hope he plays.
And then, I think Dan's up. Let's give it to Gareth.
I'm going to let Gareth this. Yeah,
Gareth.
All right, well, Wolves City, I mean, we just saw Wolves come out. This is the worst thing. City's another team that really hates playing from behind because teams just sit back. If Wolves do what they just did to Sheffield, City's screwed, in my opinion. City has hard time breaking down defenses that just park buses all day. And if Wolves gets an early lead, that's what's going to happen. I'm curious to see the first lineup. Is Foden at the strip club? Is he on the field? We don't know.
It's 50-50 shot, really.
We'll find out. We're not really sure. But it's going to be the first defensive test for City against the Wolves team that came out firing early. So,
and to just add to that, didn't they lose them twice last year?
Yeah, the Wolves has their number lately.
So this is an interesting
Traore
game.
is a nightmare against them because he plays usually on the right
Traore's
side, and
an
our left backs
He's a
are
unit.
terrible.
They had him playing like wing back last game.
Dude,
I know he does play,
literally
but
plays wherever he wants at this
yeah,
point.
I know.
He tells the coach where he's playing.
Yeah,
He's just a monster.
And he rubs
is.
himself in baby oil. So, like, there's
That's
that.
a fact.
Dude, he is so scary.
But, so that's the rundown.
Yeah, that's
Some good games.
game week 2.
Have some good comments for next week's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to watch these games.
Time for transfers.
So we'll kick off. So obviously the transfer window is still open till October 3rd or 5th. I forget what the actual date is.
One of those days.
Yeah, so that's
But,
a week or two.
A couple we wanted to point out. One big one was Emi Martinez to Aston Villa for
Shout out to
goal.
Martinez.
I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm so pissed he's leaving. He was like a good servant to the club. He played there for 10 years, and then he stepped up big time when Leno was hurt. Like, he made some incredible saves, helped us win the Community Shield, the FA
what
Cup.
a trophy.
What?
What? No.
The FA Cup's a trophy.
No, the
I mean,
one before that. I said, oh, wow, what a trophy. Community Shield, that is. Nice, guys.
Well, back to the point.
Remember when Man U won a trophy? Oh, me either.
Yeah, what was that?
1987?
No, it was 2 years ago. We won the Europa League, I think.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, you're still talking about that? That's pretty sad. Yeah.
I'll take that over Community Shield. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I think Aston Villa got a good keeper in Martinez, so I'm happy for him because I think he's gonna get time and he's gonna, he earned his place there.
Cool. Moving
I
on.
agree.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
Ivanovic, West Brom.
How do we feel?
I don't care.
Yeah, me
Yeah, I really don't.
We just put it in there because it was West Brom and it sounded like
mean-
they needed some help. So
Yeah, it's gonna help them. I
think
think anything can
I
help
don't
them.
know if it even does. I think he's like
Okay.
37 now,
Yeah,
like 36.
might be a
Way-
little past his prime.
He sucked when he was at Chelsea.
Again, they'll take.
They
whatever
took
can
a
get, I
name.
guess.
They took a name.
yeah.
The Grealish extension, I think, is interesting for me.
That's the biggest thing.
I would love
that
to see,
stands out
like,
to me.
in his contract, if it says, like, if we get relegated, like, you're signing me to a Premier League team. Like, I'm not doing this ride again.
I honestly
Yeah, I
think he's way too good to be in the championship. He deserves to be in the Premier League.
He won't be. There's no way.
He's such a good player. He deserves to be playing with high quality players and a high quality team.
And I think they're trying to build a team around him.
Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins is a good signing.
You
They
love
got,
Ollie!
they got Emi Martinez. I think they're looking for some wingers. So I think they're trying to make some moves.
Wait.
But
Oh yeah, duh. I'm an idiot.
You
Sorry.
seem confused.
Yeah, no, I was reading the wrong thing.
Dumbass.
Okay.
All right, keep moving. But, yeah, Grealish, good for Aston Villa.
And I think one of the
Didn't
biggest
even talk about this one?
Yeah, one of the biggest signings was Aubameyang's extension. So it's been teased for a while now. You know it was coming. God, this is like, for me, this is greater
huge.
than a new signing.
Huge.
Yeah, it's big for you guys.
Committed 3 years to the club. I mean, he's put in like, he's our main. We rely on him on goals.
Right, getting a prolific goal scorer is not an easy task. So being able to keep one is a big win
huge.
for especially for a big club like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that also, obviously, for Arsenal's sake, I think Arteta and him must have had some good conversations saying like, oh, we're
Correct.
going to bring in players. We're going to try to push to win some trophies. So I'm hoping that's what he said, and I'm hoping that's why he's saying, but I think he fits in, and I think I'm ecstatic he's here.
I think a big help for them was the fact that you're in Europe next year.
Yeah,
that helped
that
a lot. I
to
think.
do.
A player that good wants to compete for something.
They were saying he had an offer from Barca.
Of course he
I
does.
can see
Barca
that.
sucks. They're piecing together anything they can at this point.
Oh God, don't get us started. The one other thing I wanted to touch on for transfer, we don't have it listed. Apparently, it's the 9th week in a row. United is going to sign Sancho now, so 9th week in a row.
Didn't they say like they weren't going to sign him because his like agent wanted too much money or something?
It's different every
week.
48 hours.
He's not signing, dude.
Honestly, at this point, it's a headache at this point for me. Are you doing it? You're not doing it. Figure it out. I'm just over it.
Sounds like they're not doing it.
But I like what we have up next.
Time
I
for
love
debate.
this. Love this.
Nothing makes better content than
Than us arguing.
a divided futon.
And
Um,
today I'm on the winning side.
Wrong. I think I'm taking this one solo, but we'll
All right,
see.
then I'll let you two debate this one.
You're on my team.
I'll jump in when needed, but okay, the
All right.
debate for this week, the topic is, obviously Bale's been linked with a move back to Tottenham, and talks are getting pretty serious over the last, today's what, Wednesday?
Yeah, even his agent came out. I think this was today where he said,
He
you know,
did.
Bale's heart still lies with Spurs. He would love to play for them again.
Yep. So the question is, if Bale moves back to Tottenham, would they be Premier League contenders this year?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay,
yes.
Garrett, state your claim. Let's hear
Listen.
why.
Oh, listen. He
Listen.
He hit me with the listen.
Just because Bale hasn't played in the Premier League for a while, you can't forget how good he was when he played there. He is a
Not
player
forgetting
that
that.
creates chances. He is someone that can go forward, can get back, has the legs to do it. And in a team that's going to be built on Mourinho, unfortunately, sitting back, he is a player with pace that can move forward with Kane and help. Just because he's not, I mean, yes, they sit back a lot, but he's an extra. Oh my God, he's so good though. Like,
Okay. It's my turn.
what are you gonna say? Because you're gonna be wrong, but it's fine. What do you want to say?
Okay, you said he hasn't been in the Premier League in a while, right?
Correct.
And again, I'm not forgetting how good he was when he was there.
Yes, you are.
He was very good.
He's better than that.
Great player.
Nope.
He's older now. When's the last time
He's
played
31. He's Aubameyang's age.
Okay, the game's changed. Premier League has changed. The other thing,
You literally just argued against yourself in the
yes,
same sentence.
it's the game has changed. The Premier League has changed. He's older. I don't think he can go right back into the Premier League and just help a Premier League team.
Bruh.
I honestly don't.
Bruh.
Okay, and
I'm gonna.
Bro, he
jump
just
in.
scored a
the other
bike in a
thing-
Champions
dude,
League
the
final
other
like a
thing-
year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago. That's not now.
And then
The
he
thing
hasn't played since.
Who does he? Again, he has Son and he has Kane. Who else does he really have going forward to help him out?
Himself. Are we crazy?
Okay, so just because you add a Bale to a team, it doesn't automatically make Tottenham contenders.
Bro, he was literally the player of the year like the year before he left.
He's not the missing piece.
Can I jump in?
He's not their missing piece.
That's not the area they need help in.
Exactly.
Yes, he's going to
He's not their
improve the
missing
team.
piece.
He's going to improve the team, but they're not going to contend for a title.
What was the score week one?
will
What was
they-
the score week one? Shut up. What was the score week one?
1-0.
Yeah, 1-0.
Okay.
That one is okay. Their defense wasn't great. They only one goal. You tell me Bale couldn't contribute to one goal that week against Everton?
Maybe not. Does he have anyone good besides two players supplying the ball to him? They don't.
Two players supplying the ball.
Okay. Here's the argument.
What do you mean two players supplying the ball? What do you want?
Will he improve? Will he improve the team? Yes. Will he make them contenders? Absolutely,
Absolutely
fucking
not.
Will they be contenders?
Okay. What
for
do you
top-
Hold on. What are you qualifying as contender? Who's a contender right now then? Like who is your contenders then right now?
City,
Liverpool,
Liverpool,
Chelsea.
and Chelsea are my contenders for the league.
Okay, so you're telling me a Chelsea team that just looked like cheeks against Brighton, and then a Tottenham team that would
Looked
add
like
Bale would not
ass
be on
against
the
Everton.
same level?
Yes.
Wait, what?
They would not be on the same
Oh yeah,
level.
yeah, they would not be in the same.
Why? Because Chelsea signed 3 players with names that people think are good?
That's what Tottenham's doing.
Bale's
They're signing
proven.
level.
Bale.
The same thing.
Bale's a proven player.
Runner scored like 35
He's been
goals
a
last year.
proven-
That was very loud in my
He's been a
head.
proven player in the Premier
Okay,
League.
you've been screaming too, so I can
8
get
years
angry
ago.
too.
What?
He's been a proven player in the Premier League. Yes. Not recently. The Premier League is different.
Okay, so you just said he scored in the German league. That's not recently in the Premier League either.
I didn't make that argument.
I'm arguing against both of you.
That was that I make that argument.
So you can't say he's not proven there either then. How many times have we seen players change leagues and not perform? A billion.
All I'm saying is you can't look at his past and say he's proven in today's Premier League. That's all.
Bro,
I'm
it wasn't
saying.
like it was 20 years ago. It was like 6.
Okay. And you don't think the league has changed in 6 years? Other teams get better, the pace of play gets faster. You don't think a league
It's not like I'm
changes in
saying
6
if he
years?
joins Crystal Palace, they're going to win the league.
All I'm saying, my point is, I don't think Gareth Bale is Tottenham's missing piece to push for a Premier League title. Is it going to help them get top 4, top 5, playing, Europe next year? Could, yeah, I think it will. But is it going to help them win the league? Absolutely not. They need more than that to win the league, or to push to win the league. That's my argument.
What do they need? What do they need?
First of all, Dele Alli's cheeks. He's out. They need a better midfielder.
Yeah, talk about people supplying balls. I mean, he's ass. He's
And
not the one you want doing
you got
that.
Eric Dyer and Alderweireld as your center backs. Come on.
Dyer's not even a center back, but he
Dyer-
wants
Exactly.
to play there.
Exactly, but they have in that center back, so figure that out
Well,
first.
sometimes you got to play where they're not supposed to play. I mean,
No, he wants to play there, and then he's.
that's his fault.
And all Mourinho hears is another defender. Okay, come on, let's park the bus even more.
Yeah.
Okay, off topic, but all I'm saying is I don't think will he improve the team? Yes. Is he their missing piece to win the league? No. That's my argument.
I concur.
I don't think they push for top 3 with him just because he's on the team.
I disagree, but that's okay. That's what the point of this part was.
Okay. All right. You know what, guys? Let us know. All right, if you're watching this, you can comment on YouTube. If you're listening to this,
You got our opinions.
tweet us.
What's yours?
At Premier League Pines. Right? No, it's at League Pines on Twitter, and then Premier League Pines on YouTube. but-
It's League Pines on pretty much every social media platform.
yeah. So let us know what you think, because I'm standing my ground on this one.
It must be nice to be wrong. All right, moving on. What are we doing here?
So it looks like VAR listened to our first podcast.
Right. They must have listened
must
right
have
before the
listened.
games because.
Where's the text message? Hang on.
What?
I'm going to go back because we were talking about this in our group chat.
Okay,
Hang
so
on.
we'll talk about how VAR is implemented. I think it was the who does Walker Peters play for?
Southampton.
It was the Southampton Crystal Palace
Palace
game where there was a red card called in the field, and I think anyone that watched that video that has played soccer knew that was not a red card. He went up, he went to pull his foot away, and literally scraped
Contact.
the
A
top
little bit of
his foot.
contact. Yeah.
Right. It was not a great challenge. Looked a little dumb.
Definitely a yellow, but
Straight red from the referee. What happened? They called the VAR. The top refs didn't make a decision. They told him to come look at it. He looked at it himself, switched the call.
And what happened? They switched to what, Garrett?
It was a yellow card.
Oh, so what we said last week on the podcast about how the ref should go take a look himself.
Correct.
Okay, right. Yeah, so in our group chat, Dan goes, hey, VAR did something right. Garrett said, oh my God, they changed to yellow, holy shit. I said, holy shit, they definitely listened to us and they changed everything. Let's go. Which is finally, they did the right thing. They didn't just, red, he's gone. They did the right thing. I'm happy the ref on the field went and took a look.
Right, and
That's
they
what
say
you're supposed to do.
with I think FIFA took over the VAR now for Premier League, and they have more of an emphasis, I think, on the referees looking for themselves as opposed to being called from the booth, which I think was one of our biggest problems with it. I mean, the offsides thing still sucks. We saw that in play. I still hate that, but as far as decisions, I think it was better.
yeah. And then just to piggyback off that, like over almost every game I watched this past weekend, they must have said, "Oh, they're telling the referees now to keep your flag
Oh,
down
my
no
God.
matter what." Like they're saying, like if you think it's offsides, leave your flag down and let VR take care of it and go back and take a look at it.
Then why have linemen?
Well, that's almost what they said. They said in the
So what's the
broadcast.
point?
At some point,
They
it's just
said
going to
it,
be
yeah.
pointing where they're out of bounds is. That's
It's
it.
You're
ridiculous.
just pointing for throw-ins now?
It just
I could do that.
it just removes the human
Well, yeah.
aspect from the game. It's just like all going to the camera. I hate it.
And some of them were so obvious. Like I get it if it's within a yard. There was a person I forgot what game it was, but 3 yards offsides, and he kept the flag down. Like even the player knew that he was offsides
Yeah.
at that point. Like it's just a waste because it's like it just annoys as I watch it because then they got to go to VAR, they got to check the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just wastes time that doesn't need to be wasted. Like there's still human. I get they're trying to avoid the problem of someone taking away a goal that should have been, but
Yeah, but then like we say like like the example you just gave, but then also when it's like so super close on offsides where they're bringing out those lines and drawing those ridiculous little
Stupid
like lines, it's like, all right. I mean, now we're going like too much into it. Like, come on.
I don't know. I mean, again, and this is the big thing too. Like even with, we talked about last week how VAR would call it and the ref wouldn't go look. They changed that, to now. Okay, there's more emphasis on the ref going and take a look for himself. I'm really hoping that they look at the week one, or maybe this happens for the next few weeks, and they go back and look and they say, okay, listen, if he's that far off, put your flag up. Like you can make the call because you said it takes the human element out of the game.
My favorite
the furthest thing from what we want.
My favorite part about this was going back to the quick challenge is like after they made that decision, like it was trending on Twitter. Like VAR was trending on Twitter because it was like Premier League fans react to like actual positive usage of VAR. Like that just shows how irritated people are. That was a trending topic on a card overturn. Like it's just how happy people were to seeing used correctly for like a change.
Yeah.
But so let's see how it keeps getting used. Like you said, hopefully they change the offsides thing. Like if it's obvious, call the freaking offsides. It's just
put your flag up.
Oh yeah, I saw someone comment that like all people from America say offsides and it's supposed to be offside. But I'm gonna keep saying offsides because I've been saying it for 23 years.
We don't care.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
We also say field, not pitch, but okay. Yeah,
true.
Just something else out there. Except I think Dan said it this podcast. I think you said pitch.
I did say pitch.
Pleasing the audience. I like it.
All right.
So Garrett, we'll start with you. The hottest.
I thought you were going to just say that. I was like, you got to say like what it is, man.
Well, you gave me 2 seconds to take a breath in, an inhaling breath.
Yeah, take a breath.
What?
I don't know.
All right, go to this freaking topic.
Your hottest overreaction for week one.
Overreaction. I believe that James Rodriguez will be top 3 in assists this year for the Premier League.
Who's going to be above him?
Bang.
Yeah.
De Bruyne and somebody else.
Trent?
Well, at top 3, he could be 1. I'm giving him top 3.
Now, does it count if he's like tied for like second or third? I think he's tied for third. There's like 5 guys in third. I'm like 18.
Bro, it says top 3. That's third. That's fine with me.
No, I'm just asking.
But if I'm gonna overreact to something, I thought he looked good. James, top 3 in assists for the league. Mark my words. Mark this timestamp, and if I'm wrong, delete the video. That way, no one can prove it.
Dan, to you. I like yours. I agree with yours as well.
Mine's a very big overreaction, though.
I like it.
This is based on Leeds' performance against Liverpool and how they were able to score 3 against them away. First game of the season. I think they're going to challenge for a Europa League spot this year.
I like that.
6th or 7th, I think it's doable.
Leeds
really
is challenging for Europe.
I like that.
Mr. Swider.
Yeah, so mine, and I swear there's no bias here. Kind of, because
Here comes the United.
No, because Southampton. I honestly think Southampton is in a relegation battle this year. I mean, you play against Palace. Palace had like 25% possession, and you still couldn't score. You still couldn't get anything going.
Why would that make you biased?
Well, they also lost me money. They also lost me money. But
So salty, not biased. Just
that's
salty.
what I mean. But no, I'm just not bought into Southampton this year. I just normally you look at them and you're like, okay, middle of the table. I think they are honestly coming in second to last this year.
The U-turn from Dan's last week comments.
I still think they're going to have a good season.
I know, it's just funny. Dan was like a team that's expected to make an unexpected run, Southampton.
Nah.
Second weekend, Brian's like, nah,
dude, you guys
they're going back to the
played
championship.
You guys played Palace and
You
you
guys,
dominated.
No,
I meant Southampton.
Dan, you and Southampton.
Yeah, they play Palace, they dominate the game, and they still lose. That's not good.
Yeah, although I do got to get myself a Danny Ings jersey.
Just like I get that. I mean, you have the same name. It's like
Yeah,
you just have to say Danny. So like if he moves, you're still good.
Yeah.
Right.
Just saying.
All right, well, I think that's our rundown.
That's our rundown for the week.
Do you have anything else? Like
I got nothing.
minds?
I'm excited. I can't wait for this second
I have
week.
one tidbit of United, and that's the kid who, Greenwood, who got kicked off the national team, was now caught inhaling laughing gas.
These kids are stupid.
Yeah, kids are dumb.
Foden's. Oh God. Okay. Well.
Anyway.
Ending with laughing gas.
We now do have social medias.
We do every
Several.
social media you could think of, except for like Google Hangout, which isn't a real thing I don't think anymore.
I'm pretty sure I know Twitter's at League Pints.
Twitter's at League Pints, Instagram's at League Pints, TikTok's at League Pints. You find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. I think we're on Spotify too.
Premier League and Pints on YouTube if you listen to this. And we do, and I say we, Gary's doing a very good job of this. Got put up little short clips of our, our nice hour-long episodes.
Yeah,
of like the hot topics, the debates,
if you don't want
and
to
the
listen
funny
to,
moments.
we'd like you to listen to 55 minutes. You have a long car ride, but sometimes you don't have all the time. We understand it. So TikTok, you want real short clips. You got like 30 to 40 seconds on there. YouTube, usually 5 to 6 minutes, depending on the topic we're talking about.
Twitter, we just put funny gifs, just constantly.
Yeah, Twitter, we just tweet out stupid stuff. Oh, my God, did we talk about how Fulham? Hold on, can we end with this? Because this was my first thing I wrote on the entire rundown. Was Fulham coach looks like the bad guy in every action movie, and he even had like a little scar on his cheek today.
You're so right.
So this week,
right.
I mean, so like if you've ever seen like any James Bond movie,
What's his name?
Yeah.
he 100% could have been the villain.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But to even build off that, West Brom's coach, Slaven Bilic, looks like that bad guy's like boss.
Like he's like the head.
So it's like the head of the bad guy. So if you look up I don't know the full his name's.
I can't think of it. Brian, look up the Fulham coach real
coach's
fast.
name.
It's right there, Scott Parker.
Scott Parker. And then Slaven Bilic. We'll post those pictures, but these guys literally look like the villains in every action movie.
Wait a minute.
Like they're plotting to take over the Premier League.
Yeah. He kind of like is henchman-ish, and you're right. He's the boss. He's got the cat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's sitting with a white cat just purring along.
You know what makes it better? The scarf.
He does have a
scarf
scarf
that ties it all together.
But yeah, dude, he literally looks like he could villain any action movie. Like if you ever watch like Fast and Furious 27, like he's gonna be the bad guy without a doubt in my mind.
He's fighting The Rock and Vin Diesel in the next.
They're going to space and he's just up there like kicking soccer balls at them.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
there's no better way to end a podcast than that conversation.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening, watching week 2. We're excited to watch
ready.
week 2 games. Soccer's back. United's back. City's back. So I know we're excited.
Boom.
Arsenal are going to choke. We know that.
Boom.
Probably.
He agrees. But thank you guys so much for listening, watching, following us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all that stuff. And we'll see you
next week.
Catch you next week.
Next week.
Boom.
Have a good one.
Sweet.